Okay, good afternoon all. I welcome you all for this today's session. Now in this today's session, we are going to discuss the equilibrium diagram. Already, I think I have given introduction related to the equilibrium diagram. What is the equilibrium diagram? And how the equilibrium diagram is plotted. Then what is the use of equilibrium diagram? In previous session, I have completed this part. Now in this session, I will repeat just the introduction of equilibrium diagram, and after that, we will move towards the classification of equilibrium diagram. Okay, and I will try to cover that classification part in today's session. After finishing this, one more session is required to finish this chapter. And after completing this chapter, I will take the iron carbide equilibrium diagram, and then we'll move towards the practicals. Because without knowing the what is the meaning of steel, what is the meaning of cast irons, or and without referring the iron carbide equilibrium diagram, you may not be able to understand the practicals related to the microstructure of steels, microstructures of cast irons. Now, now I will start this. Somebody's disturbing the session. Saurabh Edke. Kindly mute yourself. Okay. If you have any query, you can ask me directly. Yes. Okay, please put your roll numbers in the chat box for attendance purpose. I will collect the attendance, and simultaneously I will start the session, today's session. Okay. Now this is the equilibrium. What is first we will try to understand the concept of equilibrium diagram. Now what is the meaning of equilibrium diagram? Already I have explained it. Equilibrium diagram or phase diagrams are the diagrams which indicates the phases existing in the system at any given temperature and at a given composition. Okay, if suppose they have given you the mentioned you the particular temperature and particular composition of an alloy, then by referring this equilibrium diagram or phase diagram, you will be able to find out the which phases exists at that particular temperature and that particular composition, as well as you will be able to find out the amount of exact solid present and amount of exact liquid present by referring or by taking the reference of lever rule, or by using the lever rule or lever arm principle. Now in this equilibrium diagram, I will show you one example of the equilibrium diagram. Okay, this is the equilibrium diagram, and on x-axis the weight percentage of the alloying element is plotted. X-axis nothing but abscissa, weight percentage of alloying element is plotted, and on y-axis, that is, it is termed as ordinate, or you can simply write y-axis, temperature is plotted. Then for any given temperature and for any given composition, with help of this diagram you can find out the phases existing in the system. And if you are able to find out the phases existing in the system for the particular composition, then you can determine the properties of that material. And after determining the properties, it will be very easy for you to determine its applications, okay, where to use it. Or some change in the properties is required according to your use, then you can go for the heat treatment process. Okay, then for all this, equilibrium diagram is very necessary. You should able to understand the equilibrium diagram first. Then also this equilibrium diagram will helpful for determining or for understanding what will be the changes happening in that particular alloy during the rapid cooling and rapid heating process. Okay, for that all this purpose, this is you can use the equilibrium diagram. Okay, these are the uses. First use of this equilibrium diagram is to find out the amount of phases existing in the given alloy with their composition at any temperature, and the second use is to understand what will happen during the rapid heating and cooling of that particular alloy. Then in previous session only we have completed this plotting of equilibrium diagram. Different methods are there, but from this method we are using this thermal analysis method, which takes the help of thermal analysis method. It will take the help of cooling curve data. Okay, with the help of that cooling curve data, how to plot the equilibrium diagram, what are the steps involved in plotting of equilibrium diagram. I have explained it with the example of copper and nickel alloy by taking its different samples with varying compositions of copper and nickel. Okay, so different stages are there. First, plot the cooling curves, then mark the liquidus temperature and solidus temperatures, and after that, transfer this temperature time curve or graph, this temperature time graph to the temperature and the weight percentage of nickel. Okay, temperature against weight percentage of nickel, and this will be your equilibrium diagram. Then we have also discussed the how application or how to apply the lever arm principle or lever rule principle. Okay, this its application I will explain it again in today's session. We have discussed this with the help of this lever arm principle, how to calculate the amount of solid phases and amount of liquid phases at any given temperature and any given composition. Then the types of phase diagram. Now this part we are going to, I will try to cover first three types today, and the fourth type I will cover it in the next session, because it, it takes little more time to cover that. Now first, these are the different types of the phase diagrams. Now here, on which basis the classification of this phase diagram is done? Depending on the solubility of one metal into the another in liquid state and solid states. Okay, depending on the solubility of one metal into the another metal in liquid state and solid state, the phase diagrams are classified in these four types. And these phase diagrams, which means these four types, are only we are referring it by considering the binary system. Okay, we are considering a binary alloy. Binary alloy means only two elements are there. Okay, only two elements will be there, and depending on that solubility of one metal into the another in liquid state and in solid state, we are classifying the phase diagrams in four types, namely isomorphous system, then layer type system, eutectic system, and partial eutectic system. Okay, this classification is done if you are, suppose we have taken two metals, copper and nickel alloy is there. Then if depending on copper and nickel soluble, whether they are soluble in each other in liquid state and in solid state, they will be considered in one of these phase diagrams or in the equilibrium diagrams or in systems. Okay, four types are there. One by one we will discuss it with isomorphous system, layer type, and eutectic system, and partial eutectic system. First three we will cover it in the today's session only. Now, while discussing this or understanding the phase diagram or equilibrium diagram for this system, uh, you have to go stepwise. First, suppose isomorphous system is there. Then first you have to draw the diagram, equilibrium diagram, and then you have to mention uh, for which alloys the isomorphous system will be there or obtained. Then you have to give some examples. Then you have to consider one alloy and explain its microstructural changes. Okay, in this way, for each system, suppose they may ask you any system, or sometimes they may ask you, sometimes they may provide you the names of alloys on one side, or in one means in the match the pair. MCQ questions are there in match the pairs. They may ask this in competitive examination also. On one side or on the left side, they will provide you the names of phase diagrams: isomorphous system, layer type system, eutectic system, and partial eutectic system. And on the right side, they will provide you the alloy names. like copper, nickel, then thorium and titanium, then copper and sorry, what you can say that in copper, sorry, iron, sorry, silver and tungsten. Okay, some few examples are there. Then you have to match it according to the types, which alloy shows the isomorphous system. Correct matching should be there. So I will explain it. So these type of questions may be there. Then sometimes they will ask you the how many phases will be there, or which type of at what temperature. If suppose they have given the data in the question itself, then they will ask you the amount of liquid and amount of solid phases, and they will provide you the temperature and composition data. This question is asked in gate examination. They are not going to ask this question in your university exams, but in competitive exams this type of questions are there. Calculation of the amount of solid and amount of liquid with the help of given phase diagram by using or referring their given temperature and composition data. For that, lever rule principle is used, and you should understand. If you are able to understand these equilibrium diagrams clearly, it is very simple to apply the lever rule also. Now one by one we will discuss it. Okay, you have to start with the diagram of that phase. First you have to draw the respective phase diagram. Then in the second point, write down few examples. And in the third point, you have to highlight one alloy, and you have to explain the it's means what exactly happens from if you cooled it from liquid state to the solid state or up to room temperature. There may be one alloy you can take. In some systems you have to take more than 2 or 3 or 4 alloys, depending on the nature of the diagram. Now first is the isomorphous system. Okay, in this one slide only I have referred here in. This is the equilibrium diagram. Okay, this is the equilibrium diagram, and this is the description needed. Okay, this one description is for this equilibrium diagram. And then you have to consider one alloy, and during its cooling you have to write down or explain the microstructural changes. Okay, now first I will start with what is the isomorphous system. When these types of diagrams are obtained, or for which alloy these type of diagrams are obtained, these types of diagrams are obtained when two metals are having complete solubility in each other in liquid state as well as in solid state. Okay, whichever metals are present in that alloy, suppose two metals are there, then they will be completely soluble in each other in liquid state also and in solid state also. Means whenever they are in the solid state, they will be completely soluble, and you will be able to identify only one phase. Okay, and in the liquid state also there will be only one phase, or sim I mean they will get dissolved or dissolved in each other. So in liquid state as well as in solid state, if both metals are completely soluble, then this type of phase diagram is obtained, which is termed as an isomorphous system. And generally the isomorphous system or these diagrams are of loop type. Just simply here you can refer it. A simple loop is obtained. This is the loop. Simple loop is obtained. Loop type curve is there. And for example, a few examples I have mentioned here: copper nickel system, then gold and silver, gold and copper, then tungsten and vanadium, that is WV, molybdenum and vanadium, molybdenum and tungsten, molybdenum and titanium, gold and nickel, then bismuth. Bi is for bismuth, and SB is the symbol for antimony. Okay, SB is symbol for antimony. If you are able to remember name, you can directly write it bismuth and antimony, or BISB. So these are some examples. One, two, three examples are sufficient. Yeah, I have collected here 7, 8 examples. If you are able to write 2 or 3, that's sufficient. But try to remember all these when you are preparing for competitive exams. Then they may ask you any example in the match the pairs or in the objective types. Okay. Then These are some examples. Now after this, okay, now you have to in the next stage you have to explain the microstructural changes. This is very important part. Microstructural changes happening during the cooling of any, means whichever different alloys are possible. Now here in the isomorphous system, this is the loop type system. A curve is of or this system will have a loop type phase diagram. Hence, suppose you have considered any composition here, 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 then microstructural changes occurring are same. Only one part you can take. Okay, microstructural changes are uniform because it is a loop. If you take this point or here also, this regions or microstructural changes will be same. Hence here we have considered only one alloy. Okay, here we have considered only single cooling of any one single alloy we have considered, and we are going to explain its microstructural changes. Now suppose in next diagrams, okay, this I will explain you later what is the eutectic system, but in this diagram we have different regions. Okay, this part is different, this part is different, and one single this specific point is different. That's why here we have considered three alloys, and three alloys microstructural changes we have to draw here in this eutectic system. Then in partial eutectic system, okay, now in this diagram, this is one part of this diagram, and this is the another part, and this is one part, and this is the another part. And at this specific point, here microstructural changes will be different. In this way, you have to identify the regions, and according to that, you have to consider the curves, and you have to explain its microstructural changes. Okay, so as we have referred here in this diagram, as this is loop type diagram and it is uniform throughout. Okay, wherever you consider, so I have considered here, okay, Z% of B. Its region will be 1 to 2, it will be in liquid state. In 2 to this 4, it will be in liquid plus solid state, and below this 4, it will be in solid state. You consider any region, explanation or curve will be same, microstructural changes will be same. That's why in isomorphous system only one composition you have to consider, and you have to explain its microstructural changes. Now here I have considered this curve. Now I will explain the microstructural changes, and in next slide I have drawn the microstructural changes also. Same loop is there, just I have enlarged that loop here. Okay, and I have marked it by ABCD points. Here I have marked it by 1 2 3 4 and 5. Now we now consider the alloy. Okay, here these are the microstructural changes. First I will explain here, and then we will move towards the diagram, or directly I will same this curve I have taken here. Okay, this is a just zoom diagram, you can say that, from this point A to B. Okay, this is the, suppose any composition you can mention X% or Y% like that. Okay, what exactly happens here, you can zoom it on your screen also. From region A to B here, the alloy is in liquid state only. Okay, alloy is in liquid state, and as both metals are completely soluble in each other, only liquid phase will be there. Okay, uniform liquid will be there from this A to B. Then when temperature reaches at point B, below this point B, solidification process starts at point B, and when temperature drops below this point B, some amount of solid starts separating out. From this liquid, some part will start solidifying. Okay, so this is the small part of solids. As temperature falls below this point B, as temperature is decreasing, amount of solid is increasing. Okay, here very small amount of solid is there. And suppose you have reached this point C, then solid amount is little bit more as compared to point B. And when you reach it at temperature D, all here you can see that below this point D, whichever amount of liquid is there, it will get solidified and only solid will be there. Below point D up to this room temperature, we are having only solid. And as both metals are completely soluble in each other, only one type of solid or one type of morphology you will able to see under the microscope. Okay, I will explain it again. Okay, in this region, this point A to B, only liquid is there. When temperature reaches at point B, solidification starts. Solidification process starts, and some solid starts separating out. Okay, only small amount of solid is there. And as temperature is decreasing below point B, then as temperature is falling, amount of solid increases. Okay, then at point B, C, amount of solid, then this is indicated here, liquid and solid. Then at point D, small amount of liquid is there and more amount of solid is there. And below this point D, whichever amount of liquid is remaining, all liquid gets transferred to the solid, means solidification process completes below this point D when temperature falls point below point D. And in region D to this up to room temperature here, only solid will be there. So this is the explanation, and along with regions, how you have to going to write this, how you are going to write the explanation. In region this AB, alloy is in only liquid state, and you have to draw this diagram. Okay, draw one round and show, you can show the liquid by dotted lines, and only liquid is there. In then at point B, some amount of solids are started forming. And then then at point C, and a little bit 25% amount of solids and 70 or 75% amount of liquid will be there. And at point D, very small amount of liquid and a large amount of solid. And below this point D, all solid will be there. So this is the microstructural. These are microstructural changes according to the regions. And as this is a loop, you can consider anywhere. If you consider here, same regions will be formed. A to B, then B to C, like that. Okay, same regions will be formed. So this is the these are the microstructural changes occurring during the isomorphous system. Okay. Now, if you are having any type of question, you can ask me. And those who have joined late, please mention your attendance in the chat box. Okay, in this in participants, I am able to see 44 participants, and attendance only 38 members have given the attendance. Don't write the roll number again and again. Just one time is sufficient. It will get recorded. No problem. Okay. If you have any problem, I have completed this part, isomorphous system. Okay. This is the isomorphous system. Please draw the diagram here. Please draw the diagram, and you can write down the examples. Draw the diagram, write down the examples. And if you have any query, you can put that in the chat box. If you are not having any query, you can also mention that in the chat box, that no doubts are there, and so that I will continue for next point. Okay, I will select your attendance. Okay. Randomly, I will verify it. 22 roll number is there. If your voice is not clear, you can write in chat that yes sir, like this, no problem. Okay, roll number 39 is there. 39, roll number 39.
Yes, sir. Present, sir.
Okay. Okay, simultaneously, please complete the diagram. In that time space, I will cover the, I'll check the random attendance. Okay, 59 is there.
Yes, sir.
50 is there, roll number 50.
Yes, sir.
And roll number 13.
Yes, sir.
28. Roll number 28. Roll number 4. Roll number 4. Roll number 9.
Yes, sir.
Roll number 9, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. And roll number 70, 32.
Sir.
Okay, roll number 10.
Yes, sir. Present, sir. 10.
Okay, okay, okay. Nineteen is there. $29. Okay, I will mark the meaning of present later. We will so in this way we have completed this isomorphous system. Now we will move towards the next type, layer type. Before that, I have added this extra slide. Okay, these questions may not be there in your university exams, but in competitive examinations, these questions may be there. Okay. Now, please refer here in this diagram. Okay. They have given a Z% here, Z% B for this composition at given temperature T. Okay. I will draw the horizontal line here and it will cut at point M and N. At this line, you have to calculate or you have to determine the amount of solid and amount of liquid. Okay. The initial two stages I have drawn here. Okay, they will give you the temperature and they will give you the composition. Then what you have to do for given temperature and composition, if you want to calculate the amount of solid and liquid, then from the temperature point, draw the horizontal line, okay, and mark the points where it cuts the equilibrium diagram. Here I have marked it by point M and point N. Then this MN line is termed as tie line, or this is the lever arm. This MN is your lever arm. Then from the composition point, okay, this is Z is your given composition, and from the composition point, draw the vertical line. Okay, this is the vertical line. Temperature will be mentioned in the numerical itself. Composition will be mentioned in the numerical itself. Just you have to draw the horizontal line from temperature and mark the points where it cuts the equilibrium diagram, and that will be your tie line or lever arm. And from the composition point, you have to draw a vertical line, and you have to mark intersection point of that composition line with the tie line. And here in this diagram, that point is 3. So this M3N, this is our total tie line. Okay, MN is our tie line, and due to this point 3, it is divided into 2 parts. This 3M and 3N. Now in this equilibrium diagram, here I have highlighted, this is the liquidus line, this line above CMD. This is the liquidus line. Above this line, the alloy is in liquid state, and this CND, this line, it's solidus line. Okay, I have mentioned here solidus line, and this is liquidus line. Above the liquidus line, alloy will be in liquid state only, and below the solidus line, alloy will be in solid state only. Hence, to find out amount of solid and liquid, you have to refer this solidus line and liquidus line. Now, suppose here you want to find out the amount of liquid. Okay, then you have to take the liquidus lines reference. Okay, this is the liquidus line. Then how to calculate amount of liquid? Take the from this view. You have to view from this side and write down the formula. Amount of liquid will be equal to opposite arm length from this liquidus line. Opposite arm length is 3N divided by total arm length or total tie line length. Okay, from this liquidus line, opposite arm length is 3N divided by whole arm length, that is MN. That will be the amount of liquid. And to calculate the amount of solid, you will get it from the solidus line, and here you have to view it from this solidus line. From this side, apply the lever arm principle. Amount of solid is equal to opposite arm, that is 3M. Opposite of this arm, okay, lever arm, it is divided in 2 parts. Then you have to consider opposite arm. From this solidus line, you will get the solid amount. Amount of solid is equal to opposite arm length, that is 3M divided by total arm length is MN. And that same I have highlighted in this slide. Amount of liquid is equal to length on the opposite side of the tie line. From the liquidus line, you have to take divided it by the total length of the tie line. Tie line is nothing but the lever arm length. Okay, and this is nothing but length 3N divided by length MN. In the same way, amount of solid, and you have to apply this formula from the solidus line side. Then length on the opposite side of the tie line divided by the total length of the tie line, and it will be equal to length M3 divided by length MN. And in numerical itself, they will provide you the composition values for both MN point. So depending on that, you will be able to write this lengths, and you will get the amount of liquid and amount of solid. And they will provide you 4 options, and you have to choose the correct one. Okay, so in this way, the lever arm principle is applied to find out the amount of solids and amounts of liquid present in the given system equilibrium diagram, and here I have applied it for isomorphous system. For competitive examination, this is very important part. Okay, this will not be there in your university examination, but for competitive examinations like engineering, Indian engineering services, or in your gate exams, or other exam, competitive exam, these questions may be there. So try to remember this. This is very important part. If you are having any question related to this, you can ask me. I will try to clear it. If no doubts are there, I will move towards the next equilibrium diagram. Okay. And next equilibrium diagram, this is the layer type equilibrium system. Okay, please wait. Problem is that. Okay, this is the second type of equilibrium diagram. Okay, this is the layer type equilibrium diagram. The schematic representation for it, this is clearly visible here. Okay, all the diagrams, I will tell you this, all diagrams, these equilibrium diagrams and their microstructural changes diagrams, I have taken it from VD Codegire's book, and or you can search it on internet also, easily you will find it. Okay, then this is the layer type equilibrium diagram. This is the schematic representation of layer type phase diagram. Okay, these diagrams are obtained when these type of layer type of systems will be obtained when two metals are completely insoluble in liquid state as well as in the solid state. Okay, isomorphous system will be there when two metals are completely soluble in each other in liquid state as well as in solid state, and layer type system will be exact reverse. Two metals will be completely insoluble in each other in liquid as well as in solid state here. Okay, now in this diagram you will get the different layers of the metals at room temperature. You will get the layers, and how that layers are obtained, that I will explain it in the microstructural changes. And then examples of this layer type system are in copper and molybdenum. Okay, these are completely insoluble in each other. Copper, molybdenum, copper, tungsten, then silver, tungsten, or silver, iron. Okay, for this silver and iron, these are completely insoluble in each other. I think you have seen the that or in ornaments, silver and iron rings are there. चांदी आणि लोखंडाची रिंग असते, आपण बघितली असेल. ओके, ती म्हणजे सिल्वर अँड आयर्न means both are clearly visible in solid state. If you are wearing that ring, silver and iron ring, iron is separately visible there and silver is separately visible. They are completely insoluble in each other in liquid as well as in solid state also, and layers will be there for that. Okay, for silver and iron, or silver and tungsten, or suppose copper and tungsten, or copper and molybdenum, they are insoluble in each other, and the layers will be there when they are if you form their alloys. Okay, so this is the layer type system. Now how to write the description for this equilibrium diagram? Okay, description will be like this. This point C, this point C is melting point of this element A. Okay, this equilibrium diagram I have shown here, for this is for metal A and metal B. This is the alloy of elements A and B. Now this point C is the melting point of element A, and this point D is melting point of element B. Okay, then this line CG, this is the liquidous line. Above this line, alloy is in liquid state, and this line DF, it is solidus line. below this line alloy is in solid state only, and in between these two lines, liquidus line is a solidus line, in between these two line alloy is in solid plus liquid state. You can clearly see here. So this will be the description part. Now you have to consider one composition here, as it is uniform. This nature of the equilibrium diagram is uniform throughout. Okay, it is uniform throughout. If you consider, you can consider any composition, microstructural changes will be same. In isomorphous system also, loop type system is there, nature is uniform. If you consider any composition of alloy, then microstructural changes occurring will be same at any given composition. That's why here I have considered only one curve, and I have highlighted its microstructural changes or fake changes during each point. Now here in this diagram, this is the Z% B alloy I have considered here in this diagram. Now you have to explain the cooling. What cooling from 0.1 up to room temperature, that is 0.4, in stages, what will happen there. Now in region 1 to 2, from this point 1 to 2, alloy is in liquid state only. Okay, alloy is in liquid state only. And but in case of isomorphous system, we have observed that only one liquid is there. But in case of layer type system, as these both metals are completely insoluble in each other in liquid state, you will find that mixture of two different liquids will be there, two different colored liquid. You can able to see there. Okay, liquid A and liquid B, two different liquids will be there in this 1 to 2 region. Then when temperature reaches at 0.2, below this 0.2, this liquid A, this is the point C, is the melting point of liquid A. This liquid A solidifies. Okay, it get transferred to the solid state, and solid is formed. Then in region 2 to 3, this alloy is in solid plus liquid state. Solid A and liquid B will be there. And then you have to draw one round, and there liquid, you have to show liquid and the half part of solid. Okay, liquid just dotted line by liquid and dark portion by solid, and solid A and liquid B will be there in region 2 to 3. Then below this point, when temperature reaches at 0.3, below this 0.3, this liquid B, it reaches its melting point. Then below that point D, this liquid B will get transferred to the solid, and below this a mixture of two solids will be there. Just draw one round, show half part of horizontal lines, half parts of inclined lines, and highlight one part by solid A and another part by solid B. Mixture of two different solids means layers will be obtained. Some layers may be horizontal, some layers may be inclined, or vertical layers may be obtained. Okay, depending on the densities, you will get the layers. Denser metal will be at the bottom. Denser metal will present at the bottom, means layers will be obtained. If you observe this type of alloy under the microscope, you will see the layers. First silver layers, then iron layers, like that. Both metals are clearly visible, and you can identify it. It is silver, it is iron, or it is copper and it is molybdenum, or it is silver and it is tungsten, like this. So layers of metals will be obtained in this layer type of system. And so in this way, these are the microstructural changes. For each region, you have to draw the diagrams also. In region 1 to 2, draw one round and draw two liquids with two colors, liquid A, liquid B. Then below 0.2, liquid A will get transferred to the solids, and remaining liquid B will remain as it is. Then below 0.3, only solids will be there, and one will be solid A and another will be solid B with a different morphology. Means appearance will be different. So in this way, this layer type system will be there. Just you have to mention when this layer type system will be obtained, when two metals will be completely insoluble in liquid as well as in solid state. Then layer In this diagram, we'll get the different layers of the metals. Few examples you have to write. Then draw this diagram, explain this diagram, which is the melting point of element A, then melting point of element B, then liquidus line, solidus line, and these regions, and consider one curve and explain the microstructural changes. So in this way, this layer type system is explained here. If you have any questions or doubts, please ask me. I will wait for a few minutes here. Please draw the diagram layer type system and I will collect the remaining attendance. Okay. I will verify the remaining attendance. If you have joined late, please mention your roll number in the chat box. Okay. If you have understood this layer type and isomer persisting clearly, then please mention that in the chat box. No doubts are there. Then I will continue for next time. I'll collect the attendance 66, 25. Roll number 5 is there. 5.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yes, got it. No problem. Okay, if any doubt is there, please ask me. Roll number 23 is there. 23. Okay, if you are not having any doubt, we will move towards the next type now. It is eutectic system. Okay, please draw this eutectic system. We'll take a pause here of 1 or 2 minutes. Please draw this diagram. Please draw the diagram. This is the schematic representation of equilibrium diagram for eutectic system. Okay, this is the equilibrium diagram for an eutectic system. Okay, you can give the any other names also for these points. I have collected this from VD Codegear's book. Okay, you can change the names if you are not able to remember it, but as per your names you have to write the description. Okay, please complete it. Okay, now I will start the description. I will explain one by one here. First, I will explain when this type of equilibrium diagram is obtained. Okay, when this eutectic system is obtained, this eutectic system is obtained when the two metals are completely soluble in each other in liquid state. Okay, in liquid state, two metals will be completely soluble in each other, but in solid state, they are completely insoluble in each other. Okay, in liquid state, both metals, suppose this is the system for PbAs, that is lead and arsenic. Pb is lead, As is the arsenic. If lead and arsenic system is there, then in liquid state, they will get dissolved in each other and only one liquid will be visible. But when they are in the solid state, you will be able to see the mixture of two elements separately, lead and arsenic. Mixture will be there and you can identify both elements, lead and arsenic, separately in solid state. So this is the eutectic system. I will repeat it again. These types of diagrams are obtained when two metals are completely soluble in each other in liquid state and completely insoluble in each other in the solid state. For example, this is PbAs, that is lead and arsenic. They will show the eutectic system only. Then BiCd, this is bismuth and cadmium. BiCd, bismuth and cadmium. Then THTI, that is thorium and titanium. Okay, THTI, thorium, titanium. Then AuSi. Au is nothing but the gold. Au is the gold and Si is the silicon. Okay, Ag symbol is for silver. Ag is for silver and Au is for gold. So these are some examples of the alloys which shows the eutectic phase diagram. Okay, which shows the eutectic phase diagram. Now now in the next step you have to explain the means diagram. You have to explain means what is the melting point of that two elements. Here I have considered element. This is equilibrium diagram for element A and B. Okay, element A and element B. Then you have to mention its melting points. Point C is the melting point of A, and point G, here point G is the melting point of element B. Okay, but when the amount of B increases, okay, at this point A is 100% at this particular corner. A is 100% and B is 0. But as we move from this point towards the right hand side, what will happen? Amount of B start increasing and amount of A starts decreasing from 100%, slowly. Now when this happens, okay, when amount of element B increases in element A, this melting point starts decreasing here. As element amount of B is increasing, the element A's melting point starts decreasing. Okay, in the same way, at point this B, at this right corner, 100% element B is there and its melting point is G. But when from this right side you move towards this left hand side, that is when amount of A increases in element B, then melting point of element B decreases. Okay, at this point A, 100% element A is there, and at point B 100% element B is there. But when amount of B increases in element A, its melting point decreases, and it is shown by this line CE. And when amount of element A increases in this element B, its melting point decreases and it is shown by line EG. And where these two lines intersects, this point, this is point E, and this this point will be termed as eutectic point, hence it is denoted by letter E. Okay, this point is eutectic point, and related temperature to this point E, this will be termed as eutectic temperature, and its related or corresponding composition, this is ZE denoted by letter ZE, corresponding composition for this eutectic point, it will be termed as eutectic composition. Okay, this is point E is eutectic point, its corresponding temperature is eutectic temperature, and its corresponding composition is eutectic composition. Okay, and then sorry, then the next description for this diagram will be this line. Now you have to write. Now in any equilibrium diagram, you have to mention the solidus line and equidus line. Okay, in previous diagrams in this layer type system, this CG is the liquidus line and this DF is the solidus line. And then in isomorphous system, then this CD is liquidus line. CMD is the liquidus line, and the CND is the solidus line. In the same way, in this eutectic system also, this CE EG. This is the liquidus line, and above this liquidus line, alloy is in liquid state only. Then the CD, EFG, this line, this portion, please observe the movement of the cursor on your screen. Is C, D, E, F, and this G. Okay, and this is solidus line. Below this line, the alloy is in solid state only. Okay, this is solidus line, and below this line, alloy is in solid state only. The CEG is the liquidus line. Above this line, alloy is in liquid phase only, and in between this, in this region, here and here, alloy is in liquid plus solid state. Alloy is in liquid plus solid state. So this you have to remember. Now this is like conceptual. Above liquidus line, alloy, any metal or alloy will be in liquid state. Below solidus line, alloy or metal will be in solid state only. And in between liquidus and solidus line, there alloy or metal will be in liquid plus solid state. Okay. So this is the description for this. Now, after this, you have to mention or you have to consider if it is whichever equilibrium diagram is uniform throughout, then only one composition you have, any one composition you have to consider, and you have to write the microstructural changes for that alloy's cooling process. But here, if you understand, here we have this first region, this is the second region, and this particular point. In this way, we have to consider three different alloys, and we have to explain its cooling from liquid state up to the room temperature, and we have to draw the microstructural changes. Now here we have three regions. Okay, this is the first region, and this is the first composition denoted by Z. And second region, this is the specific region here, and for this composition is ZE. This is the third region here. In this region, anywhere you can consider this curve, okay, or any alloy you can consider in this region. This is the third one we have considered as Z dash. And for these alloys, we have to consider its cooling from liquid state up to the solid state or room temperature, and we have to draw the microstructural changes happening here. Okay. Now, microstructural changes we will consider here for this first curve. Separately, I have drawn these diagrams. Okay, three diagrams are there: region 1, 2, and 3. Okay, first I will explain it in this diagram, and after that, after explaining it in the diagram, then I will again explain it with the reference of the sketch. Okay, these are microstructural changes. Okay, and first I will explain you the process happening here in region 1 to 2. Okay, this is the first cooling microstructural changes happening for the cooling of this alloy with Z% B. This is the composition of element B. Z%. You can consider X% B, Y% B, like that. Anyone. This is assumed value. Nothing is there. Just region is important. In this region, one alloy we are considering here, and its cooling we are explaining from liquid state to the solid state. And during this cooling, we are just going to draw the microstructural changes happening. Okay, now in region 1 to 2, in region 1 to 2, during this is here alloy is in liquid state, and as both metals are completely soluble in each other, only liquid phase will be there in this 1 to 2. You have to write like this: in region 1 to 2, alloy is in liquid state only, and as they are completely soluble in each other, only liquid state is there. One liquid state is visible. Just draw one circle and show the liquid by the dotted line. Okay, and then the next stage in 2 to 3. Okay, in region 2 to 3, when temperature reaches at point 2, solidification process starts. And when temperature falls below point 2, the element A starts separating out, because melting point of element A is achieved. Hence, when temperature falls below that, element A starts separating out from that mixture. From this liquid mixture, element A in the form of solid starts separating out. Okay. Now, in this region 2 to 3, as temperature gradually falls or gradually decreases, amount of solid, that is A, increases and amount of liquid decreases. In region 2 to 3, as temperature gradually decreases, amount of solid increases and amount of solid increases and amount of liquid decreases. Okay, in this region 2 to 3, microstructure will be, it consists of solids of A and remaining portion will be liquid. Okay, then when temperature reaches at point 3, whichever liquid is there, it will get transferred or transformed by, or eutectic transformation occurs at point 3. Already we have seen this concept. What is the eutectic transformation? One liquid solidifies at a constant temperature during the cooling, and it gives a mixture of two different solids. Okay, at point 3, whichever amount of liquid is there, it will get transferred to the mixture of two different solids, and that mixture is termed as eutectic. Okay, eutectic is nothing but mixture of two different solids, and this transformation is eutectic transformation. Okay, then in region 3 to 4, there element A and mixture of AB as in the form of eutectic will be there. Then how this will be shown in the diagram that I will highlight here. In region 1 to 2, only liquid will be there. Just draw one round. Just you have to draw one round, and this dotted portion will be there. In 1 to 2, only this dotted portion will be there. But now in 2 to 3, this A separates out with liquid. Okay, this is the A here, element A, and remaining amount of liquid. This portion A is observed for in region 2 to 3. This A microstructure will be observed. And as this A, element A, here name is written as dendrites of proeutectic A. First concentrate on this proeutectic A. I will explain it. As this element A or solid A is separated before this point, before this eutectic point, or before occurrence of eutectic transformation, this A is termed as proeutectic A. Okay, at point 3, this is the dF is the temperature where eutectic transformation occurs. For any composition, at this temperature, eutectic transformation will occur. Means liquid will give the mixture of two solids. And the element which is separated before this transformation, that will be termed as proeutectic. Okay, in this case, element A is separated before this eutectic transformation, hence it is termed as proeutectic A. Okay, proeutectic A, and its shape, depending on its shape, it is termed as it has dendritic shape. Dendritic, or if you have observed the feathers, feathery shape is there. That's why it is termed as dendrites of proeutectic A. Dendritic is a shape. Okay, means variable shapes will be there like feathers, and it is separated before eutectic transformation, hence it is termed as proeutectic A. Then this type of microstructure will be observed in region 2 to 3. In region 2 to 3, liquid and remaining amount will be proeutectic A, dendrites of proeutectic A. Then in the next stage 3 to 4, below point 3, this liquid get transferred to the mixture of two solids, and that eutectic mixture will be in the form of layers. The layer of element A, suppose this is the element A, This is element A's layer, and above that element B. Okay, like this, layers will be obtained. Element A and element B, layers will be obtained, and this is the termed as eutectic. Means A and B, both elements will be there, but in the form of a mixture. But as they are insoluble, separately you can identify it. Okay, some may be means in some may be in form horizontal, some may be horizontal, some may be inclined. Okay, A and B will be there, but with different morphology. So these are the microstructural changes. I'll repeat it. 1 to 2 only liquid will be there. In 2 to 3, element A separates out and solidifies, and it is termed as a pro-eutectic A, as it separates or forms before eutectic transformation. In region 2 to 3, pro-eutectic A and liquid is there, and at 3, this remaining liquid will get transferred to the mixture of two solids. It is termed as eutectic. Okay, eutectic is nothing but both elements A and B with different layers or with different morphologies. Okay, this type of microstructure will be there in region 2 to 3, and this type of microstructure will be there in region 3 to 4. So these are the microstructural, this is the schematic representation for you can say that the solidification of the alloy. Now here this alloy, okay, at this particular point E, I have already told you that at point E, this is eutectic point, and eutectic transformation occurs at point E. Okay, at this temperature eutectic transformation occurs, but corresponding composition, this is the eutectic composition Ze, and it divides it this equilibrium diagram in two regions. Okay, Ze, this is the eutectic composition. When composition is more than this Ze, means towards this side, these alloys will be hypereutectic alloys. And when composition is less than this Ze, means toward this left side, these are hypoeutectic alloys. Okay, when composition is less than this Ze, means towards left hand side, these alloys are hypoeutectic alloys. And when composition is exactly at Ze, this is eutectic alloy. And when it is more than this Ze, it is hypereutectic alloy. Hypo means less than, and hyper means more than. In this way, this diagram is divided in three parts, that is hypoeutectic alloy, then eutectic alloy, and hypereutectic alloy. Then in the first part, I have explained the microstructural changes happening during the cooling of hypoeutectic alloy. And in the second part, I will explain the cooling of eutectic alloy and microstructural changes. And third one will be cooling of hypereutectic alloy in this region. Okay, is it clear? If you have any query, please ask me. This is the microstructural changes for hypoeutectic alloy. Okay, if it is clear, I will move towards the next point. Okay, first I have explained this is hypoeutectic alloy, cooling of hypoeutectic alloy. Then I will explain now cooling of eutectic alloy and cooling of hypereutectic alloy. Okay, first I will explain the cooling of eutectic alloy represented by this composition Ze. Okay, if you have any questions, please ask me, or I will continue for that next alloy, cooling of next alloys. I will wait for 1 minute here. Roll number 52, 53, 54. Anyone is present from this roll number? Roll number 23 and roll number 31. Roll number 23 and 31. Any doubt is there? Please mention it in the chat box so that I'll move towards next point. Or I will start the explanation for this remaining two curves and their microstructural changes. Please mention it in the chat box that no doubts are there so that I can move forward. Anyone? Okay. Okay, I will move to just all points are clear. I will move forward then. Okay. Now the in this eutectic system, as I have discussed here, we have this at this exactly at this region. This is the eutectic transformation is occurring, and its corresponding point is eutectic composition. Then its corresponding temperature is eutectic temperature, and this alloy with this specific composition will be termed as eutectic alloy. And if alloy has less composition than eutectic composition, means it will come towards this left hand side. This will be hypoeutectic alloy. If an alloy has composition more than this eutectic composition, it will come towards this right side of this point ZE, then it will be hypereutectic alloy. Then microstructural changes during cooling of hypoeutectic alloy already I have explained, and I will move forward with this cooling of eutectic alloy, exactly having eutectic composition. Okay, with alloy having Ze% of B. Then for this alloy cooling will microstructural changes will be like this. In region 1 to E, okay, in region 1 to E, in region 1 to E, alloy is in liquid state only. Okay, alloy is in liquid state only, and as both metals are completely soluble in the liquid state, only one liquid phase will be there. Only one liquid phase will be there. And then when temperature reaches at point E, okay, whichever amount of liquid is present, this liquid get transferred or eutectic transformation occurs at this particular temperature, that is at eutectic temperature, and this liquid gives a mixture of two different solids. Okay, when it reaches at point E, hence below this point E up to the room temperature or up to point 2, only a mixture containing two solids will be there. Okay, I will show you the diagram for this. Okay, this is the in 1 to 2, this microstructure will be there, only liquid. In this way you have to show only liquid. In region 1 to E, only liquid will be there. Okay, 1 to E, only liquid will be there. Then when temperature reaches at point E, eutectic transformation occurs, and this liquid will get transferred to a mixture of two different solids, A and B. This is also termed as eutectic mixture or mixture of elements A and B. So this is these are microstructural changes. Liquid get transferred to the mixture of eutectic mixture, that is mixture of element A and B. So this is schematic representation of changes in microstructure during solidification of eutectic alloy. Okay, liquid get transferred and gives mixture of two different solids. Two different solids will be easily observable. Okay, somewhere one will have horizontal orientation, one will have inclined orientation, like this. With different orientations, just to make sure this will be, you can write it here directly, eutectic or A plus B. Okay, so this is the cooling of an eutectic alloy. Okay, and then after this, if the alloy has composition more than this Ze% of B, then it will be termed as hypoeutectic alloy in this region. Okay, in this region, if composition is more than this Ze, then it will be termed as hypoeutectic alloy. Then its cooling from liquid state up to the room temperature or solid state is explained by considering an alloy with Z% of B, and it is shown by these points, okay, from 1 to 4, from liquid state to up to room temperature. Okay, its transformation or its cooling is shown here. Now the microstructural changes occurring that you have to explain here from point 1 to 2, or in between this region 1 to 2, this alloy will be in liquid state only. Just you have to draw one around and show the liquid, and only one liquid you have to show, as these elements are completely soluble in each other in liquid state. Only one liquid will be there in this region 1 to 2. Then when temperature falls below point 2, the solid starts separating out, and as melting point of element B is reached, here melting point of element B is reached, below this temperature, below this point 2, when temperature falls, B starts separating out. Okay, solid B will start separating out, and this element B, which is separated before occurrence of eutectic transformation, this element B will be termed as a proeutectic B, and it has feathery shape or dendritic shape. That's why it is mentioned as dendritic proeutectic B. Dendritic proeutectic B. Okay, in doubt is there? Okay, don't make noise. If you have any query, you can directly ask me or mention that in the chat box. Okay, I will repeat it again. In 1 to 2, alloy is in liquid state only, and as both metals are completely soluble, only one liquid will be there. Okay, it will be shown by like this diagram. Just this, you have to draw this circle and one liquid in region 1 to 2. Only this type of microstructure will be there. Okay, then in region 2 to 3, in region 2 to 3, when temperature falls below this point 2, then solid B starts separating out from this liquid, and when temperature gradually decreases, as temperature gradually decreasing, amount of this proeutectic B increases. Okay, and at any given temperature here in this region, at any given temperature, you can calculate amount of liquid and amount of this proeutectic B with the help of this liquidus line and this solidus line. Okay, then in region 2 to 3, liquid will be there and proeutectic B, and it will be in dendritic shape, proeutectic B, and remaining amount of the liquid will be there. And when temperature reaches at point 3, exactly at point 3, eutectic transformation occurs, and whichever amount of liquid is there, it will get transferred, or it get transferred to mixture of two different solids. Means this liquid will get converted into eutectic mixture of element A and B at point 3, and below this point 3 to 4, it will consist of this proeutectic B and this eutectic mixture of element A and B. And its microstructure will be like this. This is the in the region 3 to 4, dendrites of proeutectic B. Okay, in 1 to 2 only liquid will be there. In 2 to 3 region, proeutectic B will be separated in the form of dendrites, and liquid will be there remaining amount. And at point 3, this is microstructure in region 2 to 3. Then at point 3, this liquid, whatever amount of liquid is there, it undergoes eutectic transformation. It gives the eutectic mixture of element A and B. Then in region 3 to 4, this microstructure will be observed. In region 3 to 4, proeutectic B in the form of dendrites. It is dendrites of proeutectic B and eutectic mixture of A and B. So these are the microstructural changes occurring during the solidification of hypereutectic alloy. This is for hypereutectic alloy. Okay, in this way, in this eutectic system, we have observed this. We have understood the microstructural changes during the cooling of eutectic alloy, and during the cooling of hypoeutectic alloy, and during the cooling of hypereutectic alloy. And we have learned how to draw the microstructures, okay, related to all the regions. If you have any query, you can ask me. Okay, now the only one type is remaining from this equilibrium diagrams, that is the partial eutectic system. Partial eutectic system. Okay, and this is having more parts and little complicated microstructures. We will discuss it in the next session only. Okay, one special session will be there for partial eutectic system, and some transformation reactions I will explain. Okay, that I will take in the next session. Okay, this is a little bit complicated. Just I will give you the little introduction when this partial eutectic system is obtained. These type of partial eutectic diagrams or systems are obtained when two metals are completely soluble in liquid state. Two metals are completely soluble in liquid state, but partially soluble in the solid state. Okay, in eutectic system, completely soluble in liquid state and completely insoluble in solid state. But in partial eutectic system, completely soluble in liquid state and partially soluble in solid state. Then we will get the partial eutectic system. Okay, when two metals have complete solubility in each other in liquid state and partial solubility in solid state, then we will get the partial eutectic system. For example, this is silver and copper, then lead and tin, PbSN, lead and tin, then tin and bismuth, it is SNBI, then lead and SB, lead and antimony, then cadmium and zinc, CdZn, cadmium zinc, aluminium and silicon, AlSi. Okay, AlSi, cadmium zinc, then lead antimony, lead tin, tin bismuth, and silver copper. These are example of partial eutectic system. And this is the diagram. This is schematic representation of phase diagram for partial eutectic system. Okay, I will explain this diagram also. This point C is the melting point of element A. Point G is melting point of element B. Okay, then this C EG is the liquidus line. Okay, and this CDEFG, this is the solidus line. This line is the solidus. This line is the liquidus line. Then this HD, this, okay, this curved portion HD and FK, HD and this KF or FK, these are solvus lines. Okay, these are solvus lines. HD and FK, these are solvus lines. In this point E here, eutectic transformation occurs. Okay, this is DEF. This is the eutectic transformation line. You can say that, or corresponding temperature for this horizontal line is eutectic temperature. Then this point is eutectic point. Its corresponding composition is eutectic composition. Okay, then what is the meaning of this solvus line? And it is I will explain it in the next session only. It's a little bit complicated. Just now remain with whatever knowledge you have gathered related to all the time. Just I have given the introduction of this partial eutectic system with example and outline of this equilibrium diagram of partial eutectic system. Okay, now in today's session, just I will summarize it. Okay, if you have any query, I will wait here for a few minutes or 1 minute hardly. Okay, I will summarize it now. In today's session, we have completed the concept of equilibrium diagram. What is the meaning of equilibrium diagram? And then how that equilibrium diagram is plotted. What are the applications or what is the use of equilibrium diagram? And then how to plot this equilibrium diagram, separate session I have taken on this. Then types of the equilibrium diagram on the basis of or depending on the solubility of one metal into the another in liquid state and solid state. The classification of phase diagrams in 4 types for binary system. Okay, we have considered binary system means alloys having 2 elements only. 4 types as isomorphous system, layer type system, eutectic system, and partial eutectic system. Out of these 4, first there is isomorphous, layer type, and eutectic system. We have covered in this today's session in brief. Okay, when isomorphous system is obtained, when 2 metals are completely soluble in liquid as well as in solid state, isomorphous system is obtained. Examples: copper, nickel, then gold, silver, gold, copper, like this few examples I have given. Then the microstructural changes occurring during the cooling that we have explained with the help of this diagram. Then the next, we have calculated here by considering this point, okay, this temperature point and this composition point. We have applied how to apply the lever arm principle, okay, or lever rule to find out the amount of liquid and amount of solid that we have discussed here in this session only. Then after that we have discussed the layer type system when 2 metals are completely insoluble in each other in liquid as well as in solid state. And then this type of layer type system will be obtained, and its examples: copper, molybdenum, copper, tungsten, silver, iron, like this few examples we have discussed. And then microstructural changes occurring during the cooling, we have discussed that part also. Then eutectic system, when 2 alloys soluble in solid state, then eutectic system type phase diagram will be obtained. For example, then lead and arsenic, bismuth, cadmium, THTI, that is thorium and titanium, then gold and silicon. Okay, AuSi. These are examples. Then this diagram has 3 parts. First is eutectic alloy, where exactly eutectic transformation is occurring. This is eutectic point and this is the eutectic alloy. Then its cooling we have discussed with its microstructure. Then microstructural changes happening during the cooling of hypoeutectic alloy, represented by this Z in this region, hypoeutectic alloy. Then microstructural changes occurring during the cooling of hypereutectic alloy in this region. Okay, along with the microstructural diagrams for each part. This is for hypoeutectic alloy, then eutectic alloy, and hypereutectic alloy we have discussed. And, some introductory part of partial eutectic system I have covered. When both metals are completely soluble in liquid state and partially soluble in the solid state, partial eutectic system is obtained in silver and copper. In silver, copper, or in lead tin, or lead antimony, or cadmium zinc, or aluminum silicon. This type of system is obtained. Okay, partial eutectic system. Then microstructural changes and different alloys. That part I will cover in the next session. Okay. Okay, if you are having any queries, please ask me. Otherwise, I will stop this session here only. Is there any query? Please provide me reply. Roll number 69. Is there?
Yes, sir, present.
Okay, no, any queries there? Abhishek is there? Abhishek.
Yes, sir. Hello.
What is your roll number?
14, sir.
14. Okay, please edit your name while entering in the room. Means while joining the session, you have not
Yes.
mentioned your roll number.
Yes, sir. I will.
Please mention it. Okay.
Is it visible?
Yes, now it is visible.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, okay. Okay, if query is there, then ask me. Otherwise, I will close this session. 17. Roll number 17 is there?
Yes, sir. Present.
Okay. Have you joined late? 17.
No, sir.
Okay, okay. Okay, I'm just verifying the attendance. Okay. Okay, if no doubts are there, I will close this session now. Okay, thank you for attending this session. Thank you. Thank you very much. You can continue with your next session as per your scheduled time. Thank you.